Hello, this is Father Michael Nasser coming to you from St. Vladimir's Orthodox Theological Seminary for this week's Midweek Reflection. Yes, I am back. It's been some time. We had a move and we had settling in, and I got sick. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do in terms of how often the reflections, but I did want to share something that I shared with the community in the chapel this morning for our Matin service. And that is a reflection on today, and there's so many aspects of that. Today is September 11th. It was 24 years ago, of course, that awful day of the attacks on our country. And I actually told the students, some of them didn't know this, that it was their predecessors 24 years ago, some of the seminarians from St. Vladimir's, who were some of the first on the scene to support the first responders as they were dealing with their difficulty in the recovery efforts that they were just beginning. It was an awful day. We saw evil act in a way that was just very, very hard to take in. And because today is the day after yesterday, where again, we saw evil in our country. We saw a young life, somebody who had dedicated his life. Sure, he had his beliefs. Maybe you agreed with them, maybe you didn't. But Charlie Kirk was somebody who wanted to engage in dialogue. And yeah, he thought his position was right, but he was willing to listen. I was watching a couple of videos of him last night, and he really, you could tell he struggled with it, but it took some patient listening for him to dialogue with people. And, to see that life cut short is tragic. And what I shared this morning, and I'll share with all of you, is that, it's really easy for us to look at other people and say, those horrible people and those terrorists and that murderer, and those are awful things. But I think there's a lot for us to learn, even if we're not potential terrorists or murderers. Maybe we can't understand that. But if we think about what motivated those awful atrocities, in either case, and any time evil works, what you peel back the layers and what you find at some point is an overemphasis on distinctions, how I'm different from someone else. And right below that often is self-pity. Somebody else has what they shouldn't have, or I don't have what I want that they have, and that self-pity of our difficult situations. Our situations are difficult. We live in really difficult times because every time in a fallen world is a difficult time. So we're not going to minimize our difficulties. At the same time, we can overemphasize them to the point where we say, without saying it out loud, poor me. And the self-pity rushes in, and it's not too far from that to, I'm going to now turn my self-pity as a weapon against somebody. Maybe I won't shoot somebody, but maybe I'll gossip about them, or maybe I'll be talking about them, maybe I just will not like them because of their difference and what I don't have that I think I need. And I think no matter what our challenges are, whatever we are struggling with, whatever difficulties we have, if we're going to avoid self-pity, the way to do it is to realize how much God has blessed us, that He's given us everything we need. We actually heard this morning in the reading of the Psalms, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And then a few Psalms later, that Psalm that we hear on Pascha night, who is the King of glory? The Lord mighty in battle, the Lord who does everything for us, who on that Pascha night we celebrate conquered death for us. He didn't need to conquer death. He entered into death voluntarily to give us a way out of death into life. And that's His last enemy that He conquers, but He conquers every other one. All of our difficulties, all of our challenges, if we go to Him, we're going to find relief from all the things. We don't necessarily get to avoid the problems, but we get the support to go through them and to maintain joy in our lives because of how good God is and how much He's giving us. So on this day that we could remember so many difficult, evil things, let's turn some attention on ourselves and say, what self-pity am I, fostering in my own life that I need to get rid of because God is so good to me? I have no reason to feel sorry for myself. I need only to look to God and what He's giving me, to be thankful for that. And then I become not somebody bringing more evil into the world and more anger and pain and death. I have somebody who brings more of Christ and His life and His hope and His joy. So I hope you find that helpful. If so, please share it with family, friends, and we'll see you in sometime the next reflection. God bless you.